Stanley, 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 Stanley. You're the best cat in the world. Isn't he wonderful? Alright, shall we have a little talk about how I feel about things, Ma? Hi, welcome to my tube. My name's Marge. I'm a Heyoka empath. That's what I do. I have these little talks on how I feel about things. I heard a couple of good things today about feelings. I like this guy's interpretation. I guess he's a lot of water. He's the dude, I don't know his name. He's the dude that's on with the Leo cub. Cubs can never be kings. Anyway, he had a lot of. I held out for. When I listen to the bros, I always see how long I can hold out. I held out for about 44 minutes today, Ma. They said, and then what I noticed is that the other guy that does the talks with them, he's saying good stuff, stuff that I've said in my videos here. Same idea, same way of thinking, same stuff, right? Like, he and I could have some pretty cool conversations, probably, right? And then it's like, and then Leah and David goes, you could just see, okay, now it's my turn to talk. And then he starts talking about, like, The Notebook, some movie that I've never even seen. Because I never cared to see that movie. That was not my frequency at all, ever. Lame ass. Yeah. I've heard excerpts about it and stuff like that. I never cared to, I want to see The Notebook. Anyway. So, yeah, I thought that was interesting that when old boy was, like, talking some cool stuff, the other one started making movie references. That's what his contribution was. That's cool. It works for them. Hell, man, that guy's gross income is, like, I don't know, because that's what it's all about, is money. I mean, he's got a studio. Because, I mean, he passes by homeless people all the time. What I don't know what he does for those people. You know what I mean? People consider their job their service. People go around this planet getting paid a lot of money for shit and saying, okay, this is my service. This is my mission. This is my service. This is my contribution. No, that's how you freaking buy shit you want. Let's not get it twisted, man. Service is the shit you do that you don't get paid for. Yeah. It's stuff that you do that you don't get paid for. Hanging out with the freaking less than desirables, because it's their hearts are the ones that you gotta change. They're the ones you gotta convince that the human race, they're not all scumbags. You ain't gonna change no rich person's mind. They're the scumbag a lot of times. Not every time. Most. Generally. A lot of people just act the same. So, I called today's talk crazy. Because I always had trouble with this word. They used to say my mom was crazy. She had some really crappy things happen to her. And they said that she was the one. One time, I'm going to tell one story in particular. It's amazing I don't have separation anxiety worse than I do, because I was separated from her for so many darn times when I was a little kid. In the formative years when you're supposed to be around your mom, I was taken from my mom a lot. Good boy, Tuck. Good boy, Tuck. Go get the comfy spot. And this one time in particular, we were driving in Central California, in a small town just south of Atascadero, north of San Luis Obispo, called Santa Margarita. Huh? Just a little small horse town. It's a blip on the radar anyway. There was a man that was on a motorcycle, and he was intoxicated. He was drunk, and he was going back and forth, and the car Mom was driving broke down. So we never had a lot of money, so we always had all these old junker cars. They were cool cars. The Nova, cool cars. They just weren't always real reliable, and they'd break down, and so we were out walking, me, my mom, and my brother. He's a couple years older than me, and this man kept going past us on his motorcycle, and he was saying nasty things to Mom. And I was like 2 years old. My brother was like 5. We were real young, and my recall is freaking phenomenal in a lot of areas. And so Mom had found these chalks. Now, chalks are just like 2 pieces of wood that are connected by a chain, and you put them in front and behind your tire on like a trailer to keep the trailer from moving back and forth. It's like an outward brake system. And so she picked up these chalks because she was defending herself and her kids against this drunk man on a motorcycle that kept going back and forth. And she swung it and threw it, and it like hit his front light and broke it. And then somebody's seen all this, and they're calling the sheriff. So they called sheriff, and then the sheriff comes because of the Bro Club. This is in the 1970s. 70s. Maybe 1980. But it's 1970. And so, because of the Bro Club, they ended up taking my mom. They called like my grandparents to come get us, and then, or we got a ride to the sheriff's station or something. That part I don't remember. But there's 2 of them, and one took me and one took you. They took my mom to the Atascadero State Mental Hospital for the criminally insane. Now that's because my grandma had such influence in that town. She knew judges. She knew doctors. She had a lot of people in her pocket, in her influence, and that was one time we were taken away. Another time we were taken away was at a doctor's appointment. Mom had a follow-up because when I was born, they cut her uterus in half and took out one ovary, and they left the other. And then they gave her that hormone replacement bullshit. And that made things hard for us when we were kids. So ultimately they ended up taking out her second ovary, and when they did that, she was having a follow-up appointment in San Luis Obispo. It's around the same time frame, because we still live there. This is why Mom moved us to Redding, is because they kept taking us. They kept stealing us. And it was a power play. It was a game, like, and this was back in the, and these people have like continued to do this all across the land. So don't talk to me about rules, regulations, policies, and procedures, HIPAA fucking shit, because if it's somebody has enough money and they fucking want your ass, they're gonna get it. They'll take it. It don't matter. And so she was at the doctor, and I was like, because I was taken away from my mom so much, I didn't, when I was around her, I didn't want to leave her out of my sight. And the doctor insisted that me as a 3-year-old child and my brother a 5-year-old child insisted that we wait in the lobby, and then took Mom back, and then made Mom wait. And then here comes my aunt, my dad's sister, Andrea Hessick, Here she comes in. Say, hey, your mom called. We're gonna. She wanted me to come pick up you kids. You know, we're gonna go get ice cream. Come on, let's go. Ice cream. All right, let's go. But let me go say goodbye to my mom. Oh no, she's gonna catch up as soon as it'll be fine. It'll be great. And then mom doesn't see us kids until 8 months later in the back of a car driving down the road in Atascadero going the opposite direction. She had to call the sheriff, be like, those are my kids, you know. There's no court order. There's a 5-year custody seat. So my whole life people have said, like, you know, she was the crazy one, yet what I think is insane is all of the fucking laws that were broken just so my grandparents could have custody of us, and they didn't even want us. They didn't want me. They might have wanted Jerry. They did not, because I was a little weird. I was my dad's fuck up. My parents were divorced, and I don't even know the circumstances of nobody. It's a big secret. So I get bits and pieces here and there, whether I want them or not. But I know, hi girl, but anyway, so I mean, what's crazy? I went to the flower shop the other day, and I was talking to a man that works there, and he worked in the correction. He likes working at the dispensary. That's why I call the flower shop. And he worked in treatment facility and stuff. Oh, you want up here? Oh, I'm sorry, baby. Here. Come here. Here. You want up there? Up there? I don't know if it's getting harder for... Go lay down, Tuck. To get up there. I'll take you out in a minute, bud. Here, let's go over to your spot, baby. Come on. Come on. And so, the guy in the flower shop, and I was talking about to my uncle, it made me think of my uncle. My uncle, he was in the CYA system for 30 years. He was a guard. I think he was a guard because he was always fit. He was always, you know, so he was like, that was like his first real job. He went in and, you know, that's all he did. And then like he raced desert bikes in the motocross in the desert. You know, he was like I think he was 50 last time he was desert racing. He came up over the hill, freaking hit the next undulation, broke his frame in half. He's almost died on him. I think he's in his 80s, and I think he just got his own motor. He just likes cruising around on it, I guess. I don't know. I don't get reports, Uncle John. My family's not close. Anyway, so I remember when he had to have knee surgery because one of the kids took out his knees, and I started thinking about it, and I think about these mentalities, and this is what I was talking to this man before, because he said he was silly, he was goofy, but he referred to himself as crazy, and I was like, well, that's one of those words that it means something different to everybody. I don't, you know, so I'd have to know what it meant to you in order for it to mean the same thing, for me to understand what the terms of crazy in which you speak. I said, well, I think crazy, my definition of crazy is somebody that hurts somebody and gets a stimulant, gets a positive response, chemical reaction in their body, And so they keep hurting people. Someone that gets their rocks off for freaking hurting people. I think that is what crazy is. My dad actually worked in that state hospital, the Atascadero State Mental Hospital for the criminally insane. He was a white coat. And what I've noticed is you got these mentalities of dominance and power and control, and then they put themselves in these positions where they can fuck with people. My dad used to fuck with me in ways like I am a little girl. Like I think people forget that. Like I have never forgotten that I am a woman. Yet people, the way they treat me, I can't tell you how many times I've heard that same terminology. Like hundreds of times in my life. You just haven't found the right dick. Or what are some of the other ones that are also commonly, see, because that's another thing. And see, because people are like, she's a man. No, I don't hate men. There's a handful of dudes I got a lot of love for. There's a handful of dudes on this planet I got a lot of love for. I've known them a long time. And so it's through years, decades for some, that they have shown that they're not the scumbag. And if they are the scumbag, they have never presented that part of themselves to me. And I have worked in man freaking fields my whole life. I have masculine energy. I don't have any desire to have a penis. I do not want to be a man. There was a time when I was a little girl, I wanted to be a man because I thought like a little kid, like a little girl. I had to pee. I wet my pants all the time because I get so busy playing. I didn't want to stop riding my bike and doing all this stuff playing. And how easy would it be if I could just go pee behind a tree? You grow out of that thinking. I am of the belief, and I'm hearing more people talk about this stuff too. Maybe the people will listen to them. Maybe people will hear them. I heard that dude, he was on that wolf guy, he was talking about that, and the wolf green guy is his teacher. Ari, I think is his name. He was on with Amanda Walsh, Amanda on Astrology Hub yesterday or the day before, and I think I was a man for all these incarnations, right? And I believe that I adamantly believe in all the fiber of my body that I did all the freaking things all the terrible things that men can do. Every single one of them. I believe I was a Viking. I believe I've been in all these I believe I've been everything I've ever come across, every story I've ever heard, there's been a timeline of a life where I've lived. Even if I've walked by a book and I've never even read the book, if I cracked it up, it's all, we're all connected. It's all, we just don't do it all at the same time, And so, I'm losing my train of thought. The moon and Saturn are in conjunct. The best viewing time is tonight at 10:31 p.m. I'll probably be asleep, Ma. Mom goes to sleep and I go to sleep shortly thereafter. So, my train of thought derailed. What was I? It'll come back, Ma. I don't know. I was on a... Oh! All the incarnations. And, that's why you gotta be good to people. Because, you're gonna be them sometime. And stuff like that. And let that be an example. And let that be a lesson to you. And all that stuff. Right? And so I've been the Viking. I did all the stuff. I was the Epstein. I did all this stuff in all these previous incarnations. Right? And then you live, and you either live to evolve closer to spirit or keep going more for ego, because all that nasty stuff is all from ego. And so you got to learn to free. I mean, ego has a place that's important in a lot of aspects. It motivates people to get out of their comfort zone and stuff like that. Although it's when it runs the show, and it makes things, it gives people that false realization that things are important that aren't, like cars and money and property and all this other stuff, stuff that you can't take with you. It's just how you treat people and how many people you help in life is what really matters. So, and then what happened is, and then this incarnate, I was doing something stupid, and I believe that it involved doing backflips, because I came into this world doing backflips. I mean, one of my mom, I wandered off. I was a wanderer. I always ended up in nature. And mom was in the restroom. This was outside Ventura, California. And mom went to the restroom, and I wandered off while she was in the rest stop bathroom. And I'd always find where the creek bed was. I found where the creek bed was, and I'd done a backflip, and mom found me down in the creek bed on my back because I landed on the rocks. It was dried up. There was no water in it. And there's a few other times after that I just had done these like crazy stunts, and that was residual, because like my life ended, and then whoop, my spirit went into mom, my soul went, and then into my body, and then mom birthed me, and then I didn't know that the movie ended. I didn't know it restarted. So I'm still, I'm because I was walking at like 9-10 months early. I put a fish hook through my tongue when I was 2. I mean, I've always climbed trees because I'm trying to get back to the heavens. Don't leave me down here. Don't leave me down here. And so I came into this. Then universe said, now you got to learn the lessons of what it's like to be female. And so I think about that karma, 10-month-old baby rape. I mean, I'm okay. All right, I think about how much of that was erased. All right, I might have done wrong, but my hip pops and I'll never forget it, Like, you learn how to treat people, and you learn how not to treat people. You just got to be good to people. You just got to be decent to people. Stop people care so much about freaking putting holes in places and shit and chasing sensations, and has nothing to do with the soul spirit connections that God intended us to have on this earth and this incarnation to create heaven on this planet. It got a little perverted. Are people going to be able to reel it back? I managed to learn. I might as well be a nun. Mom always wanted to be a nun. I might as well be a nun, because it's like, yeah, I mean, one thing that people don't realize is that when people do shit to your sexual parts when you're a young child, toddler, baby, whatever, that fucking turns your stuff on. That prematurely turns shit on that ain't supposed to be activated until like your teenage years later on, 15, 16, 17, 8, I am really tired of society freaking sexualizing human beings, boys and girls of all ages, starting from such a young age. I hated that when I was a little girl, and they'd be like, you gotta play with dolls. I don't want to play with this stupid doll. I want to go ride my bike down to the creek, catch some pollywogs. Maybe I'll make a freaking spear and go freaking catch some toads for some frog legs, because I used to like doing that too. A couple times I shot some birds, but I don't like shooting things. Although I am very, 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 very good at hitting my targets where I want to hit them. It's one of my superpowers. I could do it with the lighter. I used to do this like in the shop. Somebody'd be like, "Hey, Marge, you got a lighter?" And I'd be across the shop and I could fling it, and then so they could catch it with accuracy. I just got away with physics, I guess. So, went for a little drive yesterday. Got it, or a couple days ago. Got my first bag of Hatch green chilies. Now I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with them. I need to get a hibachi or a little grill, and then I can grill. I can fire them on the porch. They smell so good. They smell so good. You can smell them through the bag. There's a couple red ones in here. They smell so good. I'm gonna learn how to make green salsa. Well, I know how to make green salsa. I got a black it. My hand just started itching. That's rad. So I got stuff on the calendar. I gotta do 3D shit. I hope I'm up for it. No, day after tomorrow, the minivan's getting fixed. Oh no! I'm getting the CV axles replaced so it'll be roadworthy for my trip to Colorado. Now, I'm a little nervous about leaving Ma and stuff. It's only 5 hours. It's gonna go by like nothing. It's not that I don't have faith that she's gonna be in. She's got company. She's not gonna be by herself. It's just been a while since I've had to relinquish is, I don't know if that's the right word. I don't know, to step away. I know everything's gonna be fine. This is the only family I got, They're pretty important to me. Right, Ma? You got a good family. Benny's got an upset belly. I got him these by recommendation. The nice girl that comes over to do Tucker's, Claire, Unleashed. She comes over and did Tucker's, trimmed his nails, and she recommended these. And so this is only the second day that they've got them. Because they're all old, and I don't think they're going to go to the vet anymore for have their dentals. Oh shit. Sorry, guys. Sorry, go lay down. Oh, sorry. I opened the bag and they like them evidently. He already got up and came over and he's like, and then Tucker started perking up. Sorry, buddy. False alarm. My apologies, Artie Pants. Sorry, Tuck. Go back to sleep. Benny just lifted his head up. I'm sorry, guys. I just wanted to show people that they're cool. Hi, Bex Factor. How are you? If you're there. Bex Factor. BEXX Factor. Bex Factor. BEXX Factor. Yeah. So I think there's a lot of people on this planet that people have given the label crazy to, and it's unjustified. It's not. It's not based on anything. Not by my definition, my terms. It's getting gross out there. Mom and I show Mom like the reels. I've been showing Mom the reels. And Mom likes watching the little, like, she likes the ones with the little kids a lot and, like, the ones with the animals a lot. The cooking ones, we just kind of, how many times, you can only watch somebody make a burger or steak or, I've made a lot of freaking good burgers. There's this recipe that I used. I used to when we lived at 2331 in Omaha and Benson. You get the best ground sirloin cut meat I could get. Ground steak if you could, And then I get a packet of ranch dressing. And then they have flavored ranch, so you could get any kind of flavor you want. You could do the spicy ranch for a little kick if you want. And then purple onion. They call it red, but they're purple onions to me. The red onion, yeah, you have, Ma. I know you have. Purple onion. And then you could grill them or they're good raw. It don't matter. And make up the hamburger and throw it on the grill. When I lived in Omaha, and I was like, everybody that lived in everybody would talk about Omaha steaks, Omaha steak. And then my dad was a truck driver, and he came from California one time with a whole back trailer full of Omaha steaks. Omaha steaks aren't even from Omaha. The whole world's a lie, man. It's all, maybe they stamped a bunch of boxes in a factory in Omaha and sent them out from there, but everything's a lie. Most whatever 3D is imposed reality, so that you buy their shit and then they can come up with crappy ideas to ruin shit. I can't believe the way the world is headed. It's amazing to me. Just the disregard for human life, just the human spirit isn't even considered in actions, in thoughts, in deeds. There aren't a lot of really wholesome, true, charitable acts these days. I mean, things are just, here we go. We're in the collective wave of bullshit. How we doing, kids? How we doing? We're just going to keep watching Golden Girls, stuff like that. Huh, Luna? Yep. In other parts of the world, I keep getting notifications. Floods, landslides, earthquakes. There's one the other day in Hammond, Louisiana. And I'm like, I've been there. I was in Hammond. I guess they're having some sort of emergency water situation down in Louisiana. New Orleans, because the salt water's going up the Mississippi and the Mississippi's drying up. So it's messing with their drinking water. People get too used to how things are. Should never get too comfortable living on planet Earth, man. It's gonna get messy. But that's one thing that I learned from a very young age is I never had the desire for money and things. I wanted tools that would make life easier when situations got difficult. That's what I wanted. Which reminds me, I need a jack for the Suburban. I need to get a tall jack for the Suburban. I need to get a couple things for the Suburban. I'm not as prepared as I could be there, but first I got to get the minivan road ready. Tuck, you want to go walk around? Yeah? Alright, that's about all I got for now. Hope you have a rad day.